Hello and welcome to Tech Genie version 2. I'm really excited to present what's new in our latest version. Let's take a quick overview of the features and improvements that we have in store for you in this latest release. So first of all, we've overhauled the tag operation pages, as we'll see in a minute. We have also added tag operation automations so that you can run tag operations on specified intervals. That's been one of the most requested features, and we've listened. We've also added something very interesting called tag validations. More on it later in the presentation. We've also added some small features and improvements like additional features options. And the last thing that we'll go through in these presentations is the addition of subscription plans. Alright, so let's get started. One of the most important and noticeable changes of version 2 of Tag Genie that now you can go to the details screen of each tag operation. Previously this was not possible, and on this screen we allow you to actually execute again each tag operation. This is very important because this saves you lots of time, because you don't have to define or create the same operation over and over again if you need to just run it again. So again, we've listened to your feedback. This has been one of the most requested features. Another thing is that you are now able to edit and save the description of each operation. This allows you to basically have a more friendly name of each operation so that you can easily identify different operations when browsing. And the last thing that we'll cover in a bit is the actual tag operations. So this is a familiar view. This is the operations page of Tag Genie. This is where you can create new tag operations and also browse and see the status of the already defined and executed operations. So here's a list of the latest operations here. If I select one of those, I'll navigate to the details screen of this operation. This previously was not possible, as you mentioned, and here we have the execute again operation so that we can schedule this operation to run again. We can provide a friendly name of this operation. You have a clear view of the latest executions of this operation. Since now an operation can be executed multiple times, this view will allow you to have more information about the latest executions, when the execution was run, how many tags were changed, whether it's currently running or completed. As I mentioned in the beginning, one of the most requested features was tag operation automations. Many of you are running large shops where your tags are imported by other external systems, and you just need to execute tag operations, either to rename a tag or add a tag based on an existing tag, or a tag that has been added by an external system, and you need to run those operations constantly. Previously that was very hard to do. You had to manually go in. First you had to create a new operation every time and then execute this operation. Now with the latest changes, you can simply define your operation one time, like this one. We'll add tag clothing for all products where there's a tag starting with text clothing. mention that you need to run this every day or every couple of hours. No problem with the latest version of Tag Genie. You just go to the operation, select the time interval, it works for you. You can of course disable. This is the default state. Tag operations are disabled by default, so just pick, for example, run every hour and then click save, and that's it. This operation from now on will be executed every hour. Very exciting. What else we've got on this super exciting and new feature called tag validations. Many stores are driven by tags, meaning that everything that is shown in one way or another is completely governed by the tags that you have defined. So basically, if you have wrong tags with wrong name, or tags that are missing for a product, this product might not be appearing on your pages and you're basically losing money. So we've sat down with some of our merchants and came up with these features. Alright, why don't we create these features where you can define rules that can validate the tags on your stores? So here on the validations tab, you see that we have already 3 validations present that have been defined on this store. And you see one that says main category is present. Okay, if we navigate to it, sorry. And I'm just going to quickly edit it so that you can take a look at what a validation actually is. So validation has a name so that you can easily identify it. Then has a rule. Now the rule, there are basically 3 rules. A rule where only one of the selected tags can be present on a product. Any of the tags can be present on a product, or all of the tags must be present on a product. In this instance, we are using any of, and we have provided several tags: accessories, clothing, shoes, jewelry. So the idea behind it is that every product on this store must have any of those tags. For example, it's either clothing, shoes, jewelry, or accessories. Now, if a product doesn't have one of those tags, it will be marked as error. Okay, and you can also we have a precondition section here, which is basically the filters that you know from tag operations, so you can filter or limit the product that this rule will be applied on. So this is a more advanced functionality. Okay, if I go back to the store, or to the validations rather, you see that this rule is passing. This rule is passing as well, but we also have a rule that has 33 failing products. So the rule name is brand tag is present, and first of all, if I navigate to this validation that has failed product, you see the list of all the products that are failing. Okay, let me just again go ahead and edit the validation just to give you more details on how this works. So every store or most stores have items that have some kind of a brand. Okay, this is a fashion store, so we have lots of fashion brands, and what this rule is all about, that an item, a product of the store must have one vendor or one brand tag present. And we have also selected the brands. Also, selecting this list is very easy. You have a search field here where you can easily select any of the tags on your store or remove them. Okay, very good. So if a product doesn't have a brand tag that's listed in here, it will be displayed as an error. And also if it has multiple brands, usually that's not acceptable, basically, at least for this store, and it will also be presented as an error. And if we go back, we've also added some other smaller improvements. For example, we've added additional tag filter conditions. You can now use begins with, ends with, contains operators for the tag filters. We have drastically reduced the time it takes to initially connect to a store. If you have a store that has hundreds of thousands of items, previously it could take hours before the store is initialized. Now it takes just a couple of minutes, which is great improvement. Also, you can now create tag operations even if the tag operation will not affect any tags. And this video is the introduction of app plans. The first thing that I would like to say is that everything that has been available on the Tag Genie application will stay free. So basically you can use any of the existing features actually, and all the improvements and fixes for free, and that will be forever. You can have any size of store. All the features of the old features will be available for you. You can create tag operations, you can manually rerun them, you can use the filters and everything. But at the end of the day, we have to pay our bills. We now have hundreds of stores that have more than 20,000 items. One of our larger stores have more than 80,000 items. And running tag operations on such stores means that we need to invest in a lot of server infrastructure, and that costs money, and we need to pay our bills. So we've introduced plans. If you want to use tag automations, tag validations, which are kind of advanced features, you need to be on a certain plan, and basically the plan is dictated by the size of your store. So if you have a very small store, up to 5,000 products, the plan currently is $5 per month. I would like to thank many of our merchants who helped us along the way, which sent us feedback, that were willing to discuss the new features and what would work for them. We really appreciate that, and we are here for you. The idea is to make this app the best one on Shopify, and that's what we will do. Thank you and enjoy the new features.